So, Marcus Eaton.
Yep.
Okay, so I know, I would say how I know you, I guess,
Yeah,
right?
you have to.
I know Marcus from elementary school, middle school, Franklin?
Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
both. Then you went to Pokey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so a long, long time ago. And then what has it been, like 2-3 months ago you were in Boise?
Yes.
Not by accident. You happened to hit my feed, and I went to your show, which was amazing.
Thank you.
And
That was fun.
found out that you lived in Italy.
Yeah.
Met your girlfriend, and then it just so happened that about 5 weeks ago I decided I was coming to Italy.
Yeah. Amazing.
So here we are. Looked you up.
Benvenuto. Welcome to Italy.
And don't make me
Yeah,
speak Italian.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got the whole. Yep, grazie. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I contacted Marcus because I wanted to know. So Marcus used to live in Idaho.
Yep.
Lived in California, and made this big bold move to come to Italy.
Yep.
And my question, or I guess question, is how did that big bold move feel for you?
Well, that's a long answer.
Yeah,
but I'll start. I mean, I started coming here like in 2012. And in 2012, I played my first festival here, guitar festival. And and by the way, we're on a bike path, so
we're on a bike path. So there's
I
know, I'm like, there's a kid yelling, there's some bike stuff, but it's good. This is life.
So anyway, I came here in 2012 to play this guitar festival, and at the time I was playing with this musician named David Crosby, Crosby, Stills and Nash. And he had a guitar made for me, and the luthier brought me here, the guitar maker, for this festival, and that just basically blew my mind. I mean, it was my first time here in this little town called Sarzana, which is very close. So it's kind of interesting because like the universe just placed me in this zone the first time. I didn't go to Rome or Florence or Milan like every other tourist basically. So I was in this little tiny town, and then I went and visited Florence for the first time, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, when I saw the Duomo there for the first time and saw the art, I just was kind of beside myself. I was like, how am I this age and I didn't know about this? This is in 2012. So all that being said, I never thought it was going to be possible to live here, but I explored my citizenship. And that was about, 9 years ago or something. I met my cousins for the first time who are from this area, from a town called Torre del Lago. And once I met them, I don't know, it was just, I felt this pull to come here, and I didn't, again, like I said, I didn't think I was going to live here. I just thought, okay, I'm going to spend a bunch of time in Italy, I'm going to be there touring, but then I pursued my my dual citizenship, I got it, and after that it was like, am I going to do this? And I thought about it for a few years. I really thought about it for like, let's see, I guess I thought about it for 2 years, because it was a very difficult, it's not a difficult decision. It is a difficult, I mean, once you make the decision, there's a whole string of things that obviously are going to happen, but I was having a lot of problems at the time, because I think that, we were talking about this before, your life pushes you to do things, and if you don't pay attention to those pushes, it gets more and more and more and more uncomfortable, and I just got more uncomfortable. So that was right before I came over. I was having a bunch of anxiety, and I was just having huge problems with panic attacks all the time, and it was really hard, actually. It was really hard to do the jump.
What was hard about it?
Well, it was I don't know, this is an anxiety thing. It's like if you start getting panic attacks, you're actually just afraid of having them.
Right.
And then you're afraid of being in a place that's really uncomfortable and having them. You don't know how to, because you just kind of lose.
Your world gets small.
And you just lose your identity for a while, and it just really puts you in a very vulnerable place. I don't know how else to explain it. If you've never had one, more power to you.
I think people have them and they don't know that they're having them.
Yeah, that's
Often.
true, especially at first. But after they happen a lot. So at the time, I was actually like, I didn't think I could travel.
Wow.
Which is really weird, because it was probably just the opposite. It was basically the environment that I was in was getting so terrible that I just needed to get out of that environment. It was really a bad environment. It's unhealthy for me. The relationships were unhealthy, and I was explaining this to you before, but you know, it's just a lot of transactional relationships going on and people just wanting to use you for their things. But when it comes down to like actual friendship and just, you know, having camaraderie and having somebody to like really support you and sit there with you while you're going through this terrible, can I swear on here? Or should I try to keep it limited?
You can totally swear, I do that.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, like when you're going through this terrible shit,
yeah,
you need somebody there to be supportive. And at a certain point, you know, I had made so many friends over here that they were like, hey, listen, if you come over, I'll totally support you, you know, and I believe them. So that was a big factor too, because I thought, okay, well, I have a nice little friendship circle going on here. So at a certain point, I went, okay, I'm just gonna, like, it's do or die. I have to get out of here. I came over and I started looking for a place, and it took a year, you know. I was staying in hotels, and that was a whole different adventure, but it was really fun. And some of it was not fun. Like at a certain point, I almost gave up because I was like, this is just not gonna happen, you know. So
felt like too much.
Yeah. At a certain point, I was like, I don't, like what I want just is not appearing before me. And I think I looked at, you know, my goal was to get a house here, because I just thought, okay, if I do that, then I can have a base here. And at first I was kind of like, I'll travel back and forth, but now this, you know, the geopolitical events are kind of going, I'm just going like, well, do it. I want to go back and go play, you know, and I love, like, we saw each other in January. Playing in the U.S. is amazing, but all these political events are really, you know, pushing people to their max, and it's not a real, it feels like a pretty hostile environment at this moment. I don't know how you feel there, but even in the airports, people seem pretty aggro to
They're
me.
pretty,
yeah. So,
yeah.
You know. Anyway, so I mean, that's kind of the synopsis, but you know, there's more to it, of course. But
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah.
So you had, it was what, you said 2-3 years before you even came over here to explore here for the year. But you had to be pushed to that limit.
Yeah, I mean, I got my citizenship literally right at the beginning. I had started the application process like, you know, 3 or 4 years prior, because it took 2 years to get my appointment at the Italian consulate. And like I was telling you, I have cousins here. So they found my great-grandfather's birth certificate. I asked them to find it, and then I thought, okay, this is possible.
Yeah.
So I started going through all the things, and then, you know, asked my mom to grab some stuff and blah, blah, blah. So we went through it. 2 years, submitted the paper, and like literally right before COVID, I got my citizenship here.
Okay.
So beginning of 2020. And then, you know, COVID, of course, changed a lot of things in the world and in the U.S. And then it got even weirder, you know, after the facts, because people's interactions changed. You know, people were very fearful of each other, and I just was. Of course, I realized why people were acting that way, but it wasn't vibing with me at all. So I came back over for a trip in 2021 with a friend of mine. Brought him here for the first time, and we explored, and it was amazing because no one was here. Like, we were the only people. Like, we were in the center of Rome, and just very few people, because people were still afraid of COVID. That was the summer of 2021. The next summer, I came over with my mom, started looking at houses. And by the fall, I met my current girlfriend, and I didn't know we were going to date, but she's just been extremely supportive through this whole thing. And honestly, I mean, she's helped me through all of this to the point where you couldn't have planned that, you know. She just was like the perfect person at the perfect time, and she helped me through all of these different processes, because, you know, I speak Italian, but I'm not a pro. I'm still learning, and, you know, maybe I never will be. That's the point, because a language is more than just
Words.
the words. It's everything. It's the culture, and it's understanding, you know, the backgrounds of people and all of this stuff. But the point is that she was really extremely helpful, and we went through this whole process of looking at houses, and her parents have been really supportive. And so, like, it's just something that you've probably, you know, in your exploration seen that, like, you take the jump and the bridge appears, but you have to take the jump. You have to jump. Yeah. So you just have to basically have faith that, you know, the parachute's going to open.
Right? So, okay, so I
Yeah.
love that. So was there any point
Yeah.
where you were letting fear be greater than seeing possibility?
Yeah. In fact, I mean, I actually missed some flights. I mean, I booked a flight over here, and I just was having such bad anxiety that I could not get on the plane. I couldn't do it. I had to go back home. Like I went to the airport, my brother took me there, and I was just like, I can't do this. And I lost the flight, I lost the money. And I can't tell you like if I learned something from that. It was just that there's fear and there's anxiety. Fear is one thing I think that I can deal with pretty well, because I think that having a career in music, I think you deal with fear probably differently than most people, because there are things that you're afraid of, but it's also mixed with excitement. So
It's the same feeling.
yeah, so I can mitigate that, but anxiety on the level that I was having it is not something that you can deal with.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately I was alone dealing with that. And so sitting in LA alone and feeling like you just don't have, I could not see my future. I couldn't see things unfolding in any way that was positive. I mean, it seemed like it was like, okay, there's just going to be more struggle, less connection. And at a certain point, it was like, well, if I don't do this, this is the only thing that I see for myself. And this is it got so narrow that I was like, this is it. Like, this is my move. And, luckily I have some friends. I have, it's funny, but I have like 10 psychic friends. I mean, and it's funny. I don't think there's a coincidence to that, but everybody was saying the same thing. Like, you're going to do this. Like, this is your path. And, they were only confirming what I already believed. They're not telling me news, but
Right.
it really helped me. And then I have a lot of friends that have, a counselor and like people that are doing emotional work, and they helped me, So I think that it gets really hard when you feel like you're facing it by yourself. So, I mean, you do need some support.
Yeah.
You really need some support. But yeah, the fear was huge.
Yeah.
And then again, like when I came over, having my, support over here, my girlfriend, I mean, it was like, that was the essential key that I didn't know was going to happen. It was just the leap of faith. And I was staying, like I said, in these crazy little hotels in Rome, which was really fun, but it was during the winter. It's not what you consider, it's not like now.
It's not like
I mean,
this.
Yeah, you're not seeing a bunch of tourists and stuff. You're like, really, I mean, so I'm somebody that spent a lot of time by myself. My music, you don't write it when you're around a group of people. You don't, it comes to you, and all the creativity comes to you when you're by yourself. So I'm somebody who spends, I mean, even now I've spent a lot of time alone here now. And I'm comfortable in that, and maybe that's part of my path, is just being comfortable in my solitude as well, because that's where creativity comes from usually. Your epiphanies arrive when you're quiet, and we talked about that earlier. You have to create space for things, and this is another reason that I feel really amazed that this whole thing happened, is because I have all this creative space. I don't have all this stuff just pushing in on me. And in LA, you have, of course, you want to be successful no matter where you are. It's not that doesn't loom over you somehow, but if you get into a place where you have roots and you have a support system, then you have to have that structure, and that's something that I just didn't have in LA, basically.
So what did you have to let go of to make space, that was hard to let go of, to make space for new things to come into your life?
Well, identity. You have to let go of a certain identity. I think actually you go through an ego death. That's what I would say. Your old ego dies because you accept, especially if you move countries, that you're not going to be dealing with the same people anymore. And that can be scary too, in a way, because you have familiarity. And familiarity is a part of life that, it can be beneficial too. I'm just saying, sometimes it's good to go down and people know who you are, and you go down to the coffee shop.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah, and you go, hey, thanks guys, nice to see you, and you have some great conversations, but you have to you seriously go through an ego death. And when I got here, I mean, there were moments where I was just like, and every once in a while I'm like, dude, what the hell did I just do? Like, what am I doing?
I love you to say that, because I have that conversation with myself too.
Yeah, because you just go like, okay, now I'm here, so what now? You know? And It happens, but life is like that, you know. It's a
Yeah.
series of waves. You're going to get that every once in a while, and then the next day, it's like, oh my God, this is exactly where I belong.
Yeah.
I've always felt out of place. I've never felt fully where I was. I mean, meaning in LA, there was a moment where I felt like, yeah, this is my place. I really belong here. Because like just for a brief moment, it felt like super creative. When I was down there, when I first moved down, I was playing with Crosby. We had an amazing group of people that I was getting introduced to, and I thought, God, what a cool group of people. But as it turned out, they're out for themselves. And you're kind of the pawn that's being played around these guys, and they're using you for their own things. Now, okay, that happens, but when you're young, and I don't want to say naive, I'm not naive, but let's just say I have high expectations.
Optimistic and...
Yeah, and friendships, I'm a better friend than most people because I have different expectations, and the way that I treat people is how I want to be treated, and I didn't get that there. It was not reciprocated. So anyway, you know, when you leave a place, like, you have to accept that old ego has to go. It has to go. You have to let go of all of those things, and that's scary.
Becoming a different person. I mean,
Yeah,
essentially, right?
you are a different person.
Yeah.
Plus here, you know, you can't, in another language and in another place, actually you can't rely upon your old ego. You can't even relate. Like, I can't go, well, hey, you know, I did this and that with this person. Okay, well, in LA, that's all everybody ever talks about.
Yeah.
Dude, I worked on the Michael Jackson album, and then everyone, oh my God, dude, that's amazing. You must be awesome, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't exist here.
Yeah.
That's gone, which is a beautiful thing because it gives you a deeper relational place to start from. And in fact, it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. It matters who you are. And that's what I wanted to begin with. That's what I wanted in LA too. Who cares? Like, I don't care about that. I love talented people. I want to be around creative, talented, quirky people, and I have been my whole life, and I'm around those people here too. But the basis of your connection and your creativity and all of that doesn't come from who you know, and it doesn't come from ego. That's just never, that's not where it's at.
So what did you learn about yourself through the process? What's something that surprised you that you learned about yourself through the process?
I'm surprised. I mean, I guess as this sounds so cliche, but it's just like my ability to endure situations and my tenacity. I know that I'm tenacious because I haven't stopped. I have not stopped my career. I've kept completely true to my vision of music, my authenticity. I've never, ever gone off the path of my authenticity. Even when everyone else is like, well, that's not cool. Doesn't matter.
You're not going to compromise your value.
I know where I'm going. I have my path. I have my North Star. I've gone forward. But this has pushed me even further into my authenticity. Plus just going like, hey, you know what? Like, this is a big world to explore. I'm just part of this, and I'm in a place that really inspires me. I was telling you earlier just about like the artistic aspect of living, and I mean, right now we're on this bike path. Beautiful. If you can see the other side, you can probably flip it. We're on the wall of Lucca right now, which was built, you know, sometime.
I'm gonna flip it just so people can see.
Yeah.
Let's flip it around. Let's do a little pano here. Here we
Yeah.
go. Oh, let's just show what we have going on here. Yeah, so tell them about it. The wall built around Lucca. Oh, there's some bike paths. All right.
There are remnants of this wall that are pre-Roman. This part of this wall was here even pre-Roman. It was like they said it's been here since like 80 BC or something like that. Don't quote me on the
dates.
On the dates, but pre-Roman.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. So I mean, I love the history here. There's so much beautiful art and you know, Tuscany in general. You go to Florence and you see, you know, Da Vinci and Michelangelo and Botticelli and Caravaggio. I mean, it is astounding, the art that was created here, and there's a reason. So I just tap into that, and I think that it's just a beautiful place to be creative, and I feel really lucky because of course my lineage is here. I got my dual citizenship, but you know, it's a process. Like, I can't believe I'm the first person in my family to have thought of doing this. I just go like, what were you guys thinking?
Because what's your last Like your relatives, your cousins that are
My-
here, but
yeah, well, my great-grandfather was the one
Okay.
that immigrated from here.
Okay, your great grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was that's how I applied. And here's the crazy thing: he's from my town.
Oh, he's from your town.
Yeah. So that's kind of a
Yeah, that's not by
spiritual thing.
chance.
Yeah. He's from a little place that's close to where I live, but when I got his birth certificate, when my cousins grabbed it for me, it's from the town hall, the comune in my town.
So did you pick? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you? I know you were telling me when we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
That you didn't know exactly where you wanted to live.
No.
So prior to getting the birth certificate,
Yeah.
had you already been invited over here to come play, or was that after?
No. I had been here I'd been here a
Okay.
lot, actually. I was coming over here like twice a year.
So you were already
know.
you had already been to this area.
Oh, yeah.
Before you even actually knew your great grandfather.
Yeah,
was
but
from here.
not his actual town, but I was with my cousins, and there's
Okay.
this lake over here, it's called Massachusetts. They live across this lake, and one day we were standing out there, and they said, that other part of the lake over there, that's called Masarosa, and that's where your grandfather's from. Really? Yeah, we'll drive over there, and they took me over. I was like, this is amazing, because it's just all olive trees, the whole little, it's a little tiny town, but kind of winds around these hills, and it's just all olive trees. And he lived up in this other area there. And yeah, I mean, I saw it and was like, wow, this is really cool. And then when I started looking at places, I said, well, I looked on some ads, and they said that this is in my little town, Masarosa. And I said, well, I should go check this out. So I looked over there and found a few places, but this place that I have now, my house, was like, it called to me. I swear to you, like, that's how it worked. It was another spiritual experience.
I love that.
Because there were a number of things. I mean, I don't know how much time you have to like hear this story, but the point was, like, there were 5 or 10 things that were just kind of miraculous about finding
Did
this
you
place.
recognize them when they were happening, or did you recognize them later?
Right when they were happening.
You recognized them when
Yeah.
they were happening, so you were
Yeah.
aware.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing was they listed the address of the house, which doesn't happen. It's illegal. You can't do that.
Oh.
We couldn't find it, but we saw it on the hill, and my cousin was with us, and he's like, oh, maybe we can go check it out. The gate was locked, but one of the gates was open. We start walking up. Well, we saw these two, I thought they were golden eagles, but these 2 huge hawks flying over this house. I used to be a falconer, I don't know if you remember
I remember that. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so
Okay, I do remember that.
birds of prey are basically like my spirit animal. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Okay.
okay, I'm listening now.
Yeah.
Because I thought, God, there's golden eagles here. Well, it turns out they're a different type of bird. They're called poyana. They're basically related to like a red-tailed hawk that we would see
Okay.
in the States, but they look like a little mini golden eagle. Nonetheless, they were there, circling the house, and then we got up to the door, and the keys were literally in the door. I mean, I'm not kidding. The keys to the house were stuck in the door, and I thought, this is weird.
Yeah.
So my cousin was like, hello, no one's there, and he's like, I think we should go inside and look. So we actually looked inside, which is totally illegal. Shouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
given the scenario, it was the perfect thing to do. So we go in and look around. I was like, what? This is incredible. And then now it's just, the places, I can't imagine being anywhere else. Like, just where it is in Italy, and it's close to Florence and Pisa, and I just feel like super, super lucky. And I just feel like, I thought I manifested this thing, and I couldn't have, if I made a list for you of all the things that I wanted, it has them all and more than I ever thought that I would, kind of be able to get, basically, or be able to, however you want to put it, be able to manifest. And it's quite miraculous, really. I wake up there and I'm just like, I still can't believe that I'm
you're
here.
there.
Yeah, it's wild.
When do you feel like, so with the manifesting and the receiving, because that's receiving something and being aware, right? You were open.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you believe in that, but
Oh, yeah,
with your
no, I
energy,
fully believe in it,
your
yeah.
energy has to be open in order to even see,
Yeah.
to be aware that way, and to be able to receive
Yeah.
what was in front of you. Because if we remain closed off,
Yeah.
things can walk right past us, and we have no idea.
Yeah.
We cannot accept what we are not open to receiving or even seeing.
Yeah.
And so at what point, or maybe there wasn't a point, but did you, maybe were you resistant? I would maybe say, even with the anxiety a little bit, that's a lot of resistance that you had inside your body. At what point do you feel like there was some shift where you let go of in order to be able to receive?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Well, I think that as I was looking, and probably this sounds funny, probably the moment that I told you about was like, well, probably what I'm looking for doesn't exist. You know, I think for a moment I just kind of gave up, and I just thought, whatever, like it doesn't matter. I know, and this is going to sound funny. When you let go of needing something to happen, that's when it happens.
Right.
So I think for a moment it was just like, whatever, I don't need this. I don't know what I need, but I just kind of was like, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. And I just gave up the need. I need to find this and I need to do that, because I was feeling some pressure too. I was like, you know, I had a limited amount of money and I'm spending it on hotels and trying to figure out, you know, if I'm going to live in this other place. And anyway, I think after I kind of gave up on needing something, that's when this appeared. And the timing was strange, because like I was sitting in bed at night. We'd already looked at a place in this little town, and this came up as an ad, and I recognized it from a different ad because there were two ads for it. One was for sell by owner, the other one was an agency, which shouldn't happen also.
Yeah.
But the pictures were terrible. I mean, they looked like, what's that? You know, it looked like it was taken on a digital camera. And I looked at it and thought, that's interesting, that's cool. And I showed it to my girlfriend, and I remember she goes, do you like that? And I said, well, yeah, I mean, you know how it's gone. Like I just said, you know how it's been with the pictures of the houses. They've never represented what you actually get, you know. And she's like, well, let's take a look at it if you like it. So I told my cousin we were going to see a house the next day, and he says, well, if the address is listed, we may as well go there. And that's when we went in. Then like 2 days later, got a hold of the agent. He took us through the house, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is the place. So I can't name you exactly one thing that I had to let go of, but I think that, again, I've seen this in life. I've seen it with my music. The things that, this sounds so funny to say because it's kind of the opposite of what I mean, but the less you care, the better it goes.
Yeah, because you're not holding the resistance.
Yeah, you don't have the expectation. And like, if you have the expectation, you have two trains pulling opposite directions, and they're kind of doing this.
You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, if you can release the expectation of like, okay, I need this to do blank for me, and just truly not care. And I'm talking about healthy detachment. I'm not talking about not caring.
Right.
Of course you care, but you have healthy detachment. I just let it go.
Yeah.
That's what happens, I'm sure.
Well, and maybe a little bit of that too is you're letting go of the expectation of how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because we get so attached to the timing and the planning, and we're big planners. People are such big planners.
Yeah.
And what I've realized in just this journey when I've been here, every day, I'm like, where am I going? I don't know. Where am I going to go today? What's going to happen today?
Yeah.
And I'm listening. I'm getting quiet. I'm getting still. And I'm like, where is today going to happen?
Yeah.
What am I going to do today? How long am I going to stay here? And when you start to really get quiet and really get in tune with yourself, and you let go of the plan of how something's supposed to be, you really allow so much more to actually come to you. It's even better than you could have planned for.
Because you can't plan it.
You can't plan it, but we're so good at planning.
Yeah.
We're so good at the control piece. And really, I feel like, and I don't know about you when you were back to where you were having anxiety, but when we're trying to control, and it creates that resistance, and we think it's supposed to be a certain way, and then we start to it really does create anxiety inside our bodies because we're resisting ourselves. Like, it is those two trains pulling opposite directions, and it feels terrible. Feels terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is awful. Yeah, no, it's true. You can't plan these things, and it's funny because I'm always writing songs and I'm always recording. You know, in fact, like, it's so cool now because back in the day I used to write a song and it would just sit there maybe for a couple of years until I could like get a budget to go record it. Now I take it, go straight into the studio with it, and it's the process is so. It's funny because it's like obvious that I would do that with my songwriting, but in life, you don't always apply the same things. But like with that, I'm always following my intuition. It doesn't matter. I'm not consumed with like, oh my God, how am I going to do? What am I going to do for the bass and all this?
What's that product going to look like?
I'm totally in the moment. I'm totally in the moment. It's all flowing, and I never shut off the valve to the creative process, and I'm searching for sounds, and whatever it takes is how it happens, and every time's different. And you know, I have that, and so I guess maybe I became more open to that when this situation happened. And of course, like, I've never owned a house. And so, like, that's the other thing. Part of me was like, I was living in an apartment for 12 years, and you know, that familiarity, it's nice to have a place that you're familiar with and that you enjoy, and I did enjoy it there for the time that I was there. It's great, but it's like, this is such a delivery on such a massive scale, you know, and it's hard to make sense of all of it because you really can't. It's just like you put it out there and then it's delivered and boom, wow, you know. And now, even 2 years later, I'm still discovering things about it that are just amazing. Like, it is better than I planned. It is like the quintessential place that I would have planned for, you know. It's so cool. There's this beautiful hill. I'm surrounded by olive trees, which is just a joy. But on the other side of it, there's a church, right, with this beautiful bell tower, and I can hear the bells coming up over the hill, which is like, that's wonderful. Magical. Yeah, you cannot plan that. So, got to leave room for the magic, you know. Yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, you can't plan for this stuff. I think you should be prepared. You should always be prepared and be like, okay. In fact, this week I was telling you I have this song coming out for this other artist, and this is going to be a huge thing for me. And I don't want to say it's the first time in my life that I've done this, but like, I have healthy detachment from it, but I've also planned ahead. So I have all my social media posts planned and all of this, and it feels really good because I'm not sitting there thinking about like all the things that I need to do and scrambling. It's just going to happen. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
So it's interesting you mentioned too just your environment and the familiarity. You've said that a few different times where you were at before was so familiar, it almost didn't give you space to, as I get hit with a leaf, I'm getting pelted. Anyway, but it didn't give you space to know more about yourself because everything was so right? It was autopilot. It was...
Yeah, how do I explain it?
It was comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you're comfortable in your discomfort.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to change. The anxiety started to come when you knew you needed to change, you wanted to change, but yet you don't know what's on the other side of change.
Yeah, and also, I mean, there's a lot more factors than just moving environments, because there's the financial aspect, which is just a reality of life. I was, okay, well, if I move, how do I do this? And how am I going to make money if I do that? And you're trying, again, it's like the problem solver in you. And I mean, I was really lucky because I saved a bunch of money during COVID, ironically. Super ironic, but I did it. And that's what allowed me to come over here. So, I mean, it was just like these things you can't plan.
No, you can't plan.
You can try to
manipulate.
Yeah, you can try to project a little bit, but like the anxiety was just a sure sign to get out. And I mean, I don't think I've ever felt more lonely for about 3 years. And I lost some really good friendships. I'm not talking about death. I'm talking about like seeing them for exactly what they were, and just dealing with the fallout and that really terrible emotion that you have when things fall apart. And you know, everybody has that. I'm not unique in that, of course. But it was so funny. Before I left, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't meet somebody. I was trying to, at least have a relationship or something to make me feel good. I couldn't find any gigs. I couldn't find a manager, an agent.
All the doors were blocked.
Everything was closed.
Yes.
So it was like, well.
And that's where you were talking about it's narrowing.
Do or die. Oh, yeah.
It's narrowing down to.
Yeah, and I'm not somebody that feels like I need like these extreme circumstances to change, because I'm used to change. I'm used to pushing and doing things, but the biggest thing for me was that I saw myself succeeding in a really, let's say, linear way, because I've put in the work. You think, I put the work in, therefore this is going to happen. It's input versus output, but it's not like that. It's never like that. You think it is, but it's not. And you know what? For some people it is. But for me, I'm always going to be the dude that's going to find the back door, and that's how it is. I was told that a long time ago, and I don't know, I didn't know if I believed it, but I think I probably believe it now. It was like, you're going to find the back door entrances into all of these situations. And they're like, it's not going to happen for you. I've tried to pattern my life, even my touring after other artists. Oh, I'll do this and I'll tour. Never worked.
It's not going to look the same.
It never worked. And I can't tell you why. It's not based on like the quality of what I'm doing. It's based on my soul or me as an individual and all these different things.
So you've been here a couple years now.
Yes.
So when you say that the way that you've tried to pattern your life it's not the way you're meant to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the way that you thought the linear journey was going to be, it's not a linear journey.
Yeah.
And had you taken that linear journey, then you wouldn't really have the growth that you have personally.
No, I mean,
from the experiences.
Plus, the other thing is, I mean, this is a fact. Like, I was trying to tell you a little bit about LA earlier, and I'm not against LA. I really love LA. And I love the environment, but it's not a healthy environment. It's not healthy. It's mentally unhealthy. And I'd say a lot of the U.S. is very mentally unhealthy right now because connection's not real. It's not based on things that matter.
Meaningful.
Yeah. And you have to have people that, your value has to align. Mm-hmm. So before I moved here, I made a list of the things that I valued, and I was like, wow, I'm really aligned in Italy because the things that I value are valued there. The things that are valued in LA, I mean, I could name you the top 3: fame, money, and
looks.
Looks could be the third one. I mean, really, it could be about, fitness, looks, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, I value fitness, but dude, fame and money being your top 2 things that you value? No, sorry.
Yeah. Isn't congruent with you.
It's not healthy. It's not a healthy mentality. And where was I going with this? So the point was, you said something earlier that I wanted to get into. You're talking about, just a sec, I have to go backwards. But
had you not experienced, if you had experienced a linear, okay, we'll just cut that piece out. But
Yes,
had you
that's right.
Thank
you. That's the point I was going to make. So, if you don't have anybody around you that's supportive, and you get everything you want the next day, how's that going to feel? Wow, great! I'm just as lonely as I was, but I'm successful.
Nobody in the journey with you.
It sucks. That would be terrible. And that was the potential that I saw. I was like, pfft. Yeah, great. So, and then here's the other thing. Then you get people that start snooping around you and wanting to be your friend because of that. Mm-hmm. It's not
true
real.
Connection.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of our greatest desires as humans is that we have connection.
Yeah, we're a species that needs it. We can't live without it. We can't live without relationships, period. Yeah. It's not possible. Yeah. And I know, that is the truth of things. So I think, like you said, I mean, you have this linear vision, but this is so much greater than anything that I could have planned.
Right?
And, I want to be inspired every day. This is a place that brings me a lot of inspiration. I love it here. I love the people. I love being, like this week I'm going to go visit this amazing beach and celebrate, my girlfriend's birthday with her. And I just finished this badass album from my friend Stephen Bishop that I recorded at my house. Most of it, people sent their parts. I recorded some of it in LA, but it feels great, I worked in London a couple years ago on a film, and I was living there for a month. I mean, this is where it's at, It's in Germany playing. It's what I've wanted to do my whole life. I wanted to do this. I wanted to tour Europe, but I always was like, I'll just be over here in the U.S., but this is a much better experience also just for the fact that, like, I have people that really care about me, and they don't care what I do. They don't care. And that's a good thing. Yeah. At first, you want to have, like, your ego desires that, like, it's great to have that attention for what you do. Of course, it feels good because you've put the work in and, You deserve to have attention from people in a positive way, but that's not who you are. That's just part of who you are.
I love that you say that.
So okay. I think that, yeah, I'm a musician. That's part of who I am. I have many things that I love. I mean, that's my passion. Mm-hmm. It's my main passion. But the point is that, you know, that's the way that I communicate with the world. But all the people I've met over the past few years, I don't even think they know what I do.
Yeah, I mean,
and they don't really care. So it's really quite exciting in that way. It sounds backwards, you know, in a way, but it's the right way to think about it.
Yeah, it's the right way to think about it.
Yeah.
So through your journey that you've been on so far, because you've got like an amazing journey ahead of you.
Yeah.
You're just getting started.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Through the journey you've had so far, how much do you trust yourself now, or how well do you feel like you trust yourself, your judgment, your choices, you know, what's next for you, and being able to receive that way, versus maybe how much you trusted yourself before?
In the past?
Yeah. Do you feel like there was any shift in that?
Oh, yeah.
In learning to trust yourself?
I mean, I'm a totally different person. I mean, I don't take any shit anymore, you know? Like, I know it sounds funny, but in LA, sometimes I look at myself just like, dude, you know what it is? I value my time a lot more, and I value myself a lot more, and I know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that, again, this is not coming from an egoic thing, but like I just worked on this big project I told you about, and I just go like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and this is why I'm working on this, and this is why I'm working with these people. And it's not a thing where it's boosting my ego, but it's boosting my self-confidence. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I worked with all these incredible musicians who you know, and some of them, not all of them, but some of them sent this stuff, and I was like, wow, that's just so not what I expected. Yeah. I expected something such a higher level. Yeah. And I'm not putting them down by saying that, you know, but what I'm saying is like, wow, dude, I should have always been a bigger advocate for myself. But when you don't grow up in that environment, you know, you and I are from the same place, and there's just so many people and this is what I've experienced in life, and this is a lesson for people. You cannot listen to anybody. Mm-hmm. I don't care if they're your parents and they think they know what's best for you. They don't know what's best for you. Yeah. Only you know what's best for you. And, you know, I think I'm somebody that's really lucky because I think I'm able to access my passion. Mm-hmm. I really believe that, like, I have completely accessed that when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. And I know for some people that's harder to uncover, but I think it's harder to uncover because of your environment. Mm-hmm. So the people around you, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. They can't tell you what's best for you. And I just listened to everybody around me. And I didn't grow up in that environment where it was like I'm totally confident, you know, and you could talk about your parents or your grandparents. It all depends on your family. But like, if I ever had kids, I would just be like encouraging them always to listen to their own inner guidance. And I wouldn't push them away from their own authenticity. I mean, it's easier said than done, but you know, a lot of the problems we have in our life is just because we get so pulled away from actually who we are at the beginning. Yes. And we get conditioned to please people. You know, I always wanted to just keep the peace in my family and please the people around me, and it doesn't allow you the space to grow and be autonomous yourself. And to
hear yourself. I mean, to hear yourself. All the steps that you described in your journey to be able to get to where you are right now, you listened to you and you trusted you. Yeah. But when we listen to, all the voices around us, the environment that we're in, we become that environment, or we start to get molded to what people think we should be, what they think our potential is, what they think the path is.
That's right.
And then the problem is you start to create eventually some resistance because, like you were explaining, all the you know, the forces of nature, like, eventually are going to start coming down and squeezing on you to say, that's not your path. Like, wake up,
it's true.
Listen,
it's
you're
true.
Not going the right direction. Stop listening to everybody else and listen to you.
Yeah, you're right. And the other thing is that I encountered so many people in my life. Now, this is just my experience, but I am somebody that just, I think people either they really like and they relate to because they maybe understand that I'm coming from here, or they just absolutely can't stand me. Because I think that this is, again, my experience, when you're focused on your thing, and that's what matters to you most, people look at you and they go like, what's your angle? This happened in LA all the time. Like, who are you? Like, why are
what
you?
Do you want?
You know, because you are totally self-contained.
Yeah.
You're not looking for something from them,
uncomfortable.
and they get so uncomfortable with themselves, and then they start projecting their shit onto you.
Yes.
And so my experience has been that these older guys that never made it, they look at you and I have been specifically told by people, oh, you'll never make it.
Yeah.
You'll never make it. You'll never do this. You'll never do that. They are literally projecting their story onto you because they go, well, I'm miserable, so you should be miserable too. And that is the most dangerous type of person you can possibly be around. And the environment that I was in, this is in Idaho. That happened in Idaho. That's
a long time ago.
Yeah, that happened in Seattle when I was living there for a few years, and it definitely happens in LA.
Yeah.
You got to be so aware of, like, if you have anybody, there's another huge conversation that we could have, like why you're attracting that.
Yes.
Because it's not just about that person showing up, it's the fact that you're attracting that person.
You are.
Well, I don't attract those people anymore.
Yeah.
But I had to do so much work
Yeah.
to figure out why I was attracting that, and it's all familial, and that's deep work.
Yeah.
It's shadow work, and it sucks. It's totally uncomfortable. And the reason that most people aren't aware and they don't want to be aware is because it's total pain. You have to go backwards, and you have to like swim through molasses to get to get
So
anywhere,
much.
and you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But the point is that once you clear that stuff, you can actually be where you've always wanted to be, around the people that you've always wanted to be around. It doesn't mean there's not going to be challenges.
Right.
Because you're still layer by layer going through, and a relationship is a huge mirror for you.
Yes.
And the one that I'm in right now is a big mirror for me. I'm learning a lot about myself still, of course, and I always will be, but I'm thankful that, things turned out the way that they are now, and I'm just sitting here with you. This is
Which is so amazing, because all the things that you're talking about is the experience that I've been had the last year and a half of my life. I've had to do all the deep work, peel back all the layers, find out why I had the behaviors that I did and the patterns that were in my life, and how those came from your family when you're young. It's all childhood. Yeah. It's all from your childhood. Love our parents, but it's still we adapt ourselves in certain ways, and then we don't realize we've adapted ourselves, and it doesn't serve us any longer.
Yeah.
But what's so amazing is what you said is once you do the deep work, once you clear it out, once you do the shadow work, then you can be able to be your truest self.
Yeah.
And then all the shit that you didn't want to attract to start with, that you don't like, stops happening.
Yeah.
It's like magic.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you live the most joyful life because you trust yourself. You have actual deep self-love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean there's not challenges, and it doesn't mean you don't still keep seeing things about yourself that you might need to clear out and keep working on, but now you have the process.
Yeah.
Now you've done it. Now you have the process, and you can just keep repeating the process and just keep clearing things out, and you just keep elevating yourself to the most delightful being. It's amazing.
Absolutely. The last thing that I would say, just to tack on to this, is that the interesting thing is when you change environment, yes, things change, but you're still who you are.
Yep.
And you still have to do your inner work, because I see patterns within myself, and I'm like, wow, same person, different country.
Yes.
You still have to work on these things.
Yes.
And there's things I still have to push myself.
Yeah.
It's not just like, wow, I'm here, and I get, there's parts of you that think like, oh man, once I get there, like this is going to happen.
Yeah,
it really has happened that way.
Yeah.
There have been some absolute miracles that have happened, and things I would have never expected. I'm so grateful because I didn't plan them. And there's more of that coming. I know there's this week is going to be huge for me. Yeah. When this new album comes out. This is some serious shit.
Yeah.
But I still have work to do. And I'm down for it. I'm down for the challenge. I think the worst is behind me. Once you get through that familial stuff and you realize that you're not attracting your family anymore.
Yes.
You've made it. you know, and you're not in some toxic relationship. And, you know, again, that comes from mirroring something back to you that you need to know about your family. And once your point of attraction changes, you've changed a lot. And I was doing that work well before I moved over here. I've been doing that for a long time. It was just slow process of unfolding, and I've had some other miraculous stuff that I'll tell you after our stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so when
Let's see if my parking's expired. I'm sorry.
No, check your parking.
Just a sec, because it just expired. Hang on.
Oh, shoot.
I got it. Sorry.
They're like parking Nazis.
Just a sec. Oh, man.
Is he gonna let you renew it, or do we need to run?
No, it's good. There we go. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
No, I thought it was going to make me pay the extra fee to do it. Okay, I got it now. Okay, got it.
We parked?
There we
Okay,
go.
perfect. Okay. So one of the big messages that I really want people to know and to hear from what you've just told, and you just hit it like nail on the head right there at the end, which is you still had parts of you that didn't change just because your environment changed.
Yeah.
And what I really want people to understand is they don't have to have a breakdown. Like you don't have to be able to break through things and you don't have to completely blow up your life. You don't have to get divorced. You don't have to move. We feel like we have to go to such extremes in order to change the way that we feel and to change what's happening for us. And even if you take yourself out of one situation, you're still the same human being in another situation. It's the stuff that you have to clear out.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that matters. Then you make decisions from that point.
Yeah, I this is another thing I've thought about a lot with these experiences, but it's like the amount. Now this is what's really strange about this change. It is so subconscious. What does subconscious means? It means it's not in your consciousness.
Yeah,
you're
not aware.
pulling from the subconscious. Why? Because our patterns develop from the time we're 0 to 5, 0 to 6.
Yep.
Your parents' voices, your grandparents' voices, anybody that raised you, that becomes your subconscious mind.
Yep.
To go back and peel back the layers, of course it's deep, but that's why when you're talking about blowing up your life, why does it blow up your life? Because you're not aware of any of this. It is subconscious, and some of it's buried so deeply that you realize, I mean, and at a certain point, I mean, I had some terrible days. I mean, telling you, like in LA, I'm sure everybody's had this, maybe, but when I was doing this work, I mean, I had days of just depression.
Yep.
I had weeks and months and 3 years worth of this depression because I realized that all of the people that I had attracted, it was just all this pattern of narcissism.
Yes.
And it's a familial pattern.
Yep.
So it was it's not fun to wake up, but the reason that your life blows up is because it is so buried in the subconscious. There's no real way around getting deep into that stuff.
No.
But the more clues that you have and the more your life is throwing you these things, the more it's like, but also I will say this, women are way better at this stuff because
I mean, I'm impressed, by the way.
Because they're more,
I'm impressed.
Men don't do this because they're not emotional. I'm really lucky because to write songs, you have to be really balanced in your masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
So I'm open to the emotional stuff because I use it.
Yeah.
I'm using it in my songs. If I didn't write emotional music,
you might be more closed off.
What's the point? You know, you have to open your heart. So women are just way better at this stuff, and that's why there's more of them doing this. I'm not saying there's not some men, but I mean, I have a big TikTok page, and I'm always kind of on there exploring, and you know, there's so many women like, where are the men that are doing the work? Well, probably afraid to come out and say that they're doing the work because there's just so many social stigmas about showing any emotion at all. Men get totally mixed signals, and you know, it's really important to have a space, a partner, a mode of doing this.
Yes.
And it sucks. It's terrible work.
It is. I know.
It's just you don't even think you can get through it.
Yeah, I described it as American Ninja Warrior. Like it feels like you're just going and going and just through the mud and through the. It feels terrible. But
it's also not linear.
But it's not linear.
Yeah.
And I think what we have to, what people need to understand is it may feel terrible, but you can survive.
Yeah.
Right? You can survive that and get to being more aligned with yourself.
Joy is definitely on the other side
Joy
of it.
is
but you
so
have
much
to,
on the other
like,
side,
it's really hard to see that when you're doing it.
It is.
But
it feels so much easier to go back to what's familiar to you.
100%. That's why most people never do this, but most people never even question.
Yeah, they don't even have the awareness.
I've seen, like, I have a relative that, like, she's dated all of these dudes that are alcoholic. Every single dude that she dates is the same guy in a different body, and it's like, hello?
Yeah. Do you see it yet?
I'm seeing it. I mean, clearly.
Right?
But she doesn't want to wake up.
Yeah.
If they don't want to wake up, that's it. You're doomed to repeat that, So.
Yeah. That's so perfect.
Yeah, it's serious work. I love, there's a lot of people that I really admire that do this work. I've been really getting into Gabor Mate.
Yes, I'm going to see him in September. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Yeah, and then I have this, I have another bunch of friends that do this really deep emotional work. Actually, two friends that are psychic and they do emotional work.
Okay.
And that combination is wild.
Yeah.
Because they can tell you things that you're like,
that's happening.
Okay, wow, but they've helped me so much through all of this.
Yeah.
And I mean, without them, in some ways, I don't feel like I could have hung on to make it to this point. Like, I just don't know how I would have dealt with that situation without them, So I had one friend, deep psychic guy, and I just was like, dude, I called him. I'm having all this anxiety, man. I can't deal with this. I don't know what to do. I want to move over to Italy, and this is what I want to do, but I just, like, everything's feels like I'm just stuck. He's like, well, we got to get rid of that, man. He's like, we can work on your energy, and he did that, and then he's like, dude, listen, man, your whole life's waiting over there for you. And, like, just hearing that, he's like, man, I'm jealous, actually. I'm jealous because your whole life is going to totally unfold once you get there. Once he told me that, it was like I had this sense of relief because in the back of my mind, I mean, again, like, it's confirming something you already believe.
Yeah, but it's hard to see.
I needed to hear it.
Yeah.
I needed to hear that.
The energy is
he
so
knew that.
Huge. Okay, so to kind of close up.
Yeah.
What's so amazing and not coincidental at all is this conversation and the fact that you've done the work.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm teaching.
Oh, that's great.
Is the work and how to personally go through that process. It's called the grace process.
Yeah.
And it's what I experienced as well, but so many more people, like that's my calling, is to be able to share that and share with more people how to make it through that process and that it even exists.
Yeah.
So that you're not feeling stuck, because so many people feel stuck, and that's where we have so much depression and unhappiness and marriages breaking up and bad situations with our children and I mean, it's just it's so unhealthy.
It is extremely unhealthy.
And it doesn't have to be, because there's a very simple, feels like difficult, but it is kind of a linear path. I mean, there are steps to get you through the process.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely ways to get you to go back and do this, but I think that the main thing is, again, like, just like we talked about before, like, you can't get too caught up in the future of it.
No.
You can't get caught up in where you want to be. You just have to approach it one day at a time, because that's the only way you can do it. And again, like, I've had things pop up this year that I thought I had dealt with.
Yeah.
They came up again, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy, but they're there for a reason, and that's the nonlinear part of it. And it's just like the last remnants of some of this stuff.
It gets softer and softer.
Yeah, but I'm not, like, on my floor having a panic attack either. It's just like, okay, well, that's good. I should be aware of that, and okay, I need to apologize, and I need to do this, or whatever it is. I'm just saying, like, it's,
Yeah, it does. It doesn't magically go away. It kind of pops up like whack-a-mole a little bit, but it does get softer and softer and softer till one day
Yeah.
you don't like it, it's not happening anymore.
Yeah.
Or
And
it's you move through it so quickly because you've learned.
Yeah. Also, I just think it's important to recognize that this is so funny, but I've seen so many women that go through this process. It's so funny because the person that they're attracted to, like in their primary relationship, they're basically attracting, one of their parents, either their dad or their mom, that treats them, terrible. And they just absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't realize that they love it. Then,
it.
They're saying, "Oh, this is not what I want." Well,
Yeah.
on a conscious level, no, but
you're
subconsciously,
subconscious.
that's exactly what you're wanting.
Yes.
And after they get through it, it's just amazing. Like the quality of the people that are around you are totally different. And in fact, it's actually unfamiliar.
Yes.
And you don't even know how to deal with somebody who actually is the person that you truly deserve and that treats you well. I mean, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
And I think we all have that, like you don't know how to deal with something that's just not like giving you the butterflies and stuff. You don't want it to do that because that means that it's actually a bad sign.
Yeah.
You need something stable, you need something grounded, and that doesn't arrive with fireworks usually. So it's another thing to ponder, but
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot to
That's a good spot to
spot.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
So amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Called it in.
Yeah.